I am a 22-year-old man and I have no friends. And I haven't had friends for nearly 2 years now. But it's not in a sad way, like I was never able to get close to anyone or I was so bad socially that I wasn't able to make friends at all. I had a quite good group of friends. And although that good group of friends diminished and grew smaller and smaller, just over 2 years ago, the closest friends that I had we were quite close together. But then I grew more understanding, knowing that the friends that I did have were not good for me. And because I knew this and had my girlfriend to kind of fall back on so I wouldn't be completely lonely, I cut all of them off and stopped talking to anyone really. And then I think it was quite soon after that I went on my Facebook, deleted nearly everyone off it, and then I went on Instagram and unfollowed everybody besides my girlfriend on it. But then eventually I deleted it anyway. I deleted Twitter, then went on Snapchat, deleted nearly everyone off it, blocked some people, and only left my girlfriend, her mother, one of her brothers, and one friend who had some sort of ambitions that he wanted to achieve. And I knew pretty certain back then that I made the right decision, but living right now, 2 years after I made that decision, I am 100% certain that that is one of the best decisions that I could have made in my life. Because then I grew to understand that you are the average of the 5 people that you spend most time with. And in this digital modern age, there's another version of this. I've heard this from Hamza and I'm pretty sure he came up with this. And it's that you are the average of the 5 people whose content you consume most. And of course that sounds quite good and it's quite similar to being the average of the 5 people that you spend most time with. But actually take a second to understand how far that can take you and how good that can truly get. Because the average ambitious man watching this doesn't know many successful people, if at all, probably doesn't even have any ambitious friends anymore, also cut all of their friends off in real life and are looking probably on the internet, looking for a community of more ambitious men trying to make the world a better place to connect with and be friends with them so that they can relate, help push each other and make each other better. But because you can become the average of the 5 people whose content you consume most, it means that you can literally be the average of millionaires or ultra successful people who have become successful and made millions off of nothing, who are incredibly socially competent, who are big, strong and muscular, who are interesting to listen to, and they're just a very good role model and someone who is perfect to look up to. You can become the average of those type of people by watching those type of people on the internet. I mentioned this in one of my videos before, and this was during the time where I still had my sales job. There was one day where some cleaning had to be done. And we had to hoover the carpet in all of the downstairs part and in all of the upstairs part. And I was hoovering the floor, just doing what I was asked to do. And I started to just think. And I was thinking that I don't deserve to be doing this. I deserve more. I deserve more money. I deserve a better life. And I was thinking that. And I held on to that thought. And then I realized, what is making me think that? Everybody in my life is happy for me that I have this job and happy that I can make some sort of money, but I wanted more. And it was nearly like I was being ungrateful for what I already had. But that's a good thing because I was just being ambitious and wanted more out of my life instead of working an employed sales job. And then I came to realize that I'm having this string of thoughts because of the people that I watch. At the time I was consuming a lot of Andrew Tate content, and of course him talking about making money, escaping the matrix and not working an employed job, which meant that I was completely on my own in terms of getting a better life, earning more money, becoming more successful. I was completely on my own, but I had something in me that kept pushing me to do more. And it was because everybody that I watched was so much more above me, so successful, so rich. And although I couldn't be the average of their success and wealth, I was the average of their mindset. The string of thoughts that kept coming together, or the loose thoughts that I just had, were similar to those of millionaires who are ultra rich and ultra successful. And then something happened recently to just reaffirm everything that I've already said in this video. Just last week I went out to a bar because me and my girlfriend were invited by her friend to go out because she was having a kind of like party because she left a job she didn't like. So we went to the friend's house initially and then we ended up going into the town. And while we were there, one of my friends who was in the tightly knit friend group, which I had right before I cut everybody off, was there. And we didn't really speak to each other and we haven't been speaking to each other at all, but some stuff was going on and he was being respectful, and then that kind of opened the door for him to come talk to me. And then he came and talked to me. He wanted to make amends and be kind of like not friendly with each other, but be respectful and talk if we were ever out again. But of course not be as friendly as we were before, because I initially stopped being friends with him because he kissed my ex-girlfriend on more than one occasion, and I imagine he would have had sex with her if he had the chance. And with him doing that, it just means that there's no base layer of respect for me. And I understand now that being friends with him is completely out the window, but at the time, for some reason, my brain was foggy and I couldn't really decide if it is a good idea or not. I also was a bit drunk, so that made it harder to think. And so he asked if we could make amends and kind of be respectful with each other again. And I didn't really have an answer, and I kind of just stood and thought. But then he kept talking, and then I had to go away from him. And then a handful of minutes later, I was inside again, and then he started talking to me. And that's where we talked most that night. And he just started talking about everything that he'd done. And he asked me a few things about myself, but I could tell he didn't really care. And so he was telling me about his life. And note that we haven't spoke in over nearly 2 years. And all he told me about was how he injured his knee, that he's still going to the gym. He asked what music I now listen to, because we used to have quite a similar taste in music. And one year I got in the top 0.5% of Dua Lipa listeners, and it was honestly hilarious, and I still think it's very funny. And then he mentioned that one of our mutual friends, who I'm no longer friends with, has a girlfriend, and he said that he must be doing something wrong in his life if he has a girlfriend, because he was kind of like incel-y a bit. He was a bit weird, socially awkward, so it was difficult for him to speak to women, and now he had a girlfriend. It was now it's this big thing. And looking back on that night, maybe I should have said that I don't want to talk and I don't want to be friends, and that we're gonna go away and not involve ourselves in what you're talking about, and because I don't want to re-amend this friendship or anything. Although I didn't do that, and I wasted some time, and it's kind of bothered me that I didn't do that. It just means now that I am 100% certain that I made the right decision in not being his friend, and the decision to not amend the friendship and continue being friends with him. Because after 2 years, nearly 2 years of not being friends, he has done nothing productive or useful with his life. And within the half hour-ish of us talking, really him talking, me listening, he ended up talking about music, and that one of our mutual friends has a girlfriend, and about him going to the gym, and then asked me if I still go to the gym, and then I said I do calisthenics, and then I'm into entrepreneurship still, and he didn't really care about what I said, which is the main problem between me and him, because he cares about pointless stupid things that don't improve his life, and that would degrade my life if I listened to him and related to him. And so it means that I literally benefit from not having friends like that, because I can watch people who are inspiring and who are successful and who I want to be like, and then subconsciously pick up things that they do and become more like them with their mindset, with how they view things, with how they do things, say things, and become more like successful people who do good in the world. And even if it was the worst case scenario and I wasn't able to watch anything and relate to people who are more successful than me, it would still be beneficial for me to be absolutely by myself rather than having friends who bring me down. Because although it would be difficult to maintain focus and drive while being completely alone, because you would think if it's worth it, if I'm going insane, if this or that, there would be so many doubts. It would be difficult, but it's so much better than giving up and giving into the degenerate world of watching movies, watching TV shows, eating shit, going out every single weekend. I do not want any of that. And me having no friends and being alone just means that I'm able to construct the kind of life that I want and the kind of mind frame that I want to live within. And another quick example, that friend of my girlfriend's, we were with her at one point, and then the friend's friends was there who I've meeting for the first time, and I overheard the friend and my girlfriend speaking, and they were talking about some sort of funny video, something stupid. And my girlfriend asked, "Where did you see that, or where did you find that?" And the friend said, "TikTok." And that instantly brought up disgust for me, like resentment towards what she just said and the fact that she watches TikTok. Because for over a year now, I have heard nothing but bad things about TikTok and social media. And so hearing someone use TikTok was such an awakening. And it's kind of like I forgot that there are actually people like that who indulge in social media, waste their time and do nothing with their life. Because for the past year, I've digitally surrounded myself with people who I want to be like and people who inspire me to be better and do more. And just seeing someone who's so low and so much worse off than me because of their bad mental health from using social media, it was eye-opening. And I'm honestly very grateful that I'm in a position where I don't have shitty friends trying to bring me down. I have a small community on my Discord where I'm trying to be active and help fellow men with the same potential problem. And so I guess the main point that you can take away from this video is that it's better to be alone than to have shitty friends. Because when you're alone, you can literally construct the kind of mind frame that you want to live within and the kind of things that are normal. Because now my mind frame is that it's normal to wake up early and to work hard for most of your day when it's sunny outside, and not eat junk food and indulge in movies every single day of the week just because it's fun. No social media just to pass some time. I don't do any of that, and it's not even normal for me to do that because of the mind frame that I've created myself by having no degenerate friends trying to pull me down and away from the good mind frame. So if you want to surround yourself with fellow ambitious masculine men, my Discord community is linked in the description. Put in enough time and attention because that will make anything into reality.